I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Critics rave about Batman Returns.
Hey, stud.
Funny.
I thought we had something together.
Explosively entertaining. Keaton flies higher than ever. Pfeiffer's perfect.
I saw her first.
DeVito's dynamite. This is the summer movie of all time. You've got to see it twice.
Gotta fly.
Batman Returns. Directed by Tim Burton. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another review. There's another paid request, this time from Kyle. And if anyone wants to send in pretty much any type of request, review or topic or reaction or comic book or commentary or pretty much any type, feel free. You can send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both things are down below in the info box. I'll try to get to it as soon as I can. I had to just lay off at the last week of March because my eye was affecting me because, anyway, that's not what it's about. It got some kind of burn, and anyway, that's not what it's about, so I apologize. Plus, just got really hectic in March because of a week of no power and no water in Texas, and just screwed everything up, so it's me playing catch up, so I apologize for the delay, is what I'm getting at. I know I'm like a minute in, I haven't talked about the movie. Probably 2 minutes in by this point. You got Tim Burton coming back, who did the 1989 Batman. You got Michael Keaton coming back as Batman, aka Bruce Wayne. At this point, I think he got like a $10 million salary. You're introduced to Danny DeVito as the Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman. I think Annette Bening was going to be Catwoman, but she got pregnant. I think Sean Young wanted to be Catwoman to the point she went in and dressed as Catwoman, but freaked people out. I think they even freaked Tim Burton out. I was like, okay, sure, yeah, we'll talk to you later. But Michelle Pfeiffer did a fantastic job. Danny DeVito as well as Michael Keaton. I enjoyed all of the actors in the movie, especially in the main roles. Michael Gough comes back as Alfred, the butler. Danny Elfman comes back to do the music. And I never understood the hate for this film. I always thought this was an underrated sequel. I think the villains, they're not going to be as prevalent as Jack Nicholson's Joker because he just completely stood out. Because Joker is just sort of the big villain of Batman, and Jack Nicholson to me knocked out of the park. So when you're up to here, anything else is going to be a step down, a downgrade. But Michelle Pfeiffer and Danny DeVito still did a wonderful job with their roles. The Penguin's very slimy and creepy with the way the makeup is and the pointed nose and the way the body, even the body looks like a penguin and how deformed it is. And the Penguin's a nasty character. He's a disgusting, creepy character that you don't want to mess with, that will bite people's nose until it's gushing blood, or eat raw fish without a care in the world, or will have a plan. When people want to talk about how movies are dark nowadays, this is a movie where the villain's plan is to lead the children of Gotham, the firstborn babies, to drown to their deaths in the fucking sewer water. That's pretty fucking dark than some of the shit I've seen in Nolan's Batman films. That's darker than anything I saw in The Dark Knight Rises. Your villain taking a bunch of little babies and kids to drown their ass in the fucking sewer? I mean, that's pretty fucking dark. And with Tim Burton's direction, this is a time in his heyday of doing Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands, and a few years later would do Ed Wood, and then a few years after that, Sleepy Hollow. To me, this was the best era for Tim Burton, and pretty much Warner Brothers said, hey Tim, the first was success, make this your own movie, and he did, and he got backlash for it. He got backlash. Some people just don't like the film. I disagree. They don't like it because they're a Batman fan. They don't feel it's appropriate to the comics. To be truthful, you just say that for almost any Batman movie, technically. That's because Batman, from what I understand, he doesn't kill. He's much more of a detective. You haven't really featured that 100% in a movie as of yet. Some people say Nolan's Batman films. I find these films more entertaining. I find them faster paced. I find them with more personality. And just various other reasons why I prefer this over Nolan's Batman films. Cup of tea, preference, taste, my own cup of tea, however you want to put it. Tim Burton, I love the art direction, the little bit of matte paintings, the way Gotham looks, the fanciful, it's film noir, it's the 1930s, but yet it's still modern. It's this meshing of the two. And kind of what you would see almost in Superman the movie, where it's the old but it's still new, at least for the 70s new. And granted, when it got to some with Superman, it's Metropolis, but there's the Statue of Liberty. I think what was it, Superman 4, where Nuclear Man's throwing the Statue of Liberty. I'm like, so is it New York or Metropolis, or Metropolis and New York are the same thing? Is it, or does New York exist in this world with also Metropolis? But anyway. But yeah, I love the dark look of it. It's reminds me of really neat looking paintings. And the way it takes place at Christmas. I always forget this is a Christmas movie. With the big trees, during the big parties, the lights twinkling, the Christmas decorations, the way Gotham looks in the snow, and the cinematography. It's a really nice looking picture. I think the money's on the screen for the art direction and the sets and like what the big party, and there's a big explosion and Penguin rises up and he's riding this giant yellow rubber duck contraption. Unique, creative, and that's the thing is I see a lot of creativity. The circus game, the way some of them look, where some of them have these big, creepy looking skull costumes, and you have different formats of the circus. You have the people that shoot fire, and Bull Hurley, that's not the actor's name, but if you've seen the movie Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone, the main villain is Bull Hurley. That's the name of the character. Where Stallone's like, he's in this as the big, bald, muscle-bound guy. And yes, I know Batman kills, just like Batman killed in the 89 movie, which is why I didn't really complain. That was one of my lesser complaints of Batman v Superman. There's a lot other complaints I had other than Batman kills. Just if it's Batman, I kind of understand it. If it's Superman, not really. Although he does kill in Superman 2, because they cut... There was an ending in Superman 2 where not just Lex Luthor, but the Kryptonian Zod, they were taken away because they had no more powers left, and they edited that out for some reason when they released the theatrical in the 80s. And they tried... I mean, that's another tangent. But yeah, this Michael Keaton Batman kills, it never bothered me. I thought it was rather badass when he punches Bull Hurley. Oh, that's nothing. And Michael Keaton looks down, there's the bomb, knocks his ass again. I got joy out of that. Sick joy, whatever. I got fun out of that. See, I can buy that but at the same time, I understand where people want to see more of what they saw in the comics, that this is a character that doesn't kill, and you have to have some kind of balance that he doesn't want to go that far, and that's why he's not the Joker, and also use more of a detective skill level. Hey, I'm open to that. If the new Batman, Robert Pattinson, goes that route, I think that'd be really interesting. I like the trailer. I don't know if the movie will be good. Maybe just had a good trailer, but it'll be a bad movie. I hope it's good. I hope they go that route. I'll be curious about it. But we'll see. But getting back to this, Michael Keaton, granted, yeah, Batman, Sally, that's one of the things I would like to have seen is a bit more depth to Bruce Wayne's character. Now, we were introduced in the 89 film. I wish they had done what they did in Batman Forever. If you watch some of the deleted scenes of Batman Forever, I wish they did in this. What I mean by that is, if Michael Keaton had nightmares or dreams about his past and about what happened to his parents, and was it his fault? Was it not his fault? Does he blame himself? Is Batman who I want to be, or is Batman my true enemy? And even that cool looking bat creature, again, if you see the deleted scenes of Batman Forever, and sort of Batman, Bruce Wayne confronting this creature in his mind and realizing the two are one now, he chooses to be Batman. I wish that little bit of Batman Forever was in this with Michael Keaton. I think that would have been, it would be nice to elaborate more on the Bruce Wayne character. I do think that's one of the few nitpicks watching it again I do have is, I love Michael Keaton as an actor. I love him as Batman and Bruce Wayne. But again, they don't really do much with the actual character. Other than the love story that he has, which I do think that's quite successful, where he falls in love with Michelle Pfeiffer's character, and neither one realizes that they're wearing costumes, kicking each other's asses. And that gets a wonderful realization when they're saying the piece of dialogue, "I kiss to be even deadlier if you mean it." And the way their faces look and the realization, I think even Michelle Pfeiffer goes, "So, does this mean we have to fight now?" That worked out well because Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer, they had great chemistry. Michael Keaton, he just has that stature as Batman. And Bruce Wayne, he just had that factor that made him successful and fit in the role like a glove. When he's sitting there and you have the bat signal, and it's a beautiful shot that Tim Burton has, that because of his contraption, the beam goes to where Bruce Wayne's sitting, and he rises, and the way Danny Elfman's music swells, and you have the big signal in the background, that's a great shot to establish Batman. If this is the first time we see Bruce Wayne, that's that's an epic moment. That's an iconic moment. You know, the signal, him rising up. Some people go, "Oh, it's corny." It's superhero comic book movies. I don't find it corny. I don't. I think it was pretty damn cool. I think it works well with the fact that this guy, he's still out of it. He's just waiting for the call to arms. But again, if they establish more of that, I think that'd be a plus. And the Penguin, they do try to give him a story, a backstory. His parents, including his dad, Paul Reubens, Pee Wee Herman himself, who worked with Tim Burton on Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I think the woman, I think she was also in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I could be wrong. Who played the mom. But they dumped this baby because it's deformed. It goes to the sewers. It's 30-some years later. And now Danny DeVito, who I think did a bang-up job. Definitely one of the performances I think of. And Danny DeVito, at this point, I knew him more for Twins. You know, the nice guy to, well, nicer compared to this. You know, Arnold Schwarzenegger's twin brother, and very different kind of role. He just relished being slimy and perverted, and trying to hit on Catwoman, and saying, look at a girl and going, I like to fill her void. Just being this perverted, slimy, just, oh my god, a villain is perverted. He can't do that, but he's the villain. But it's on PC. PC should be a fucking cereal we just eat for breakfast. And for breakfast, and for lunch and dinner. PC Cheetos. Shitty formation of Cheerios. PC Cheetos. It's for breakfast. Not breakfast, breakfast. And we're going off tangent again. Danny Elfman, I think he did a wonderful job really establishing a theme in these Batman movies, and given, in my opinion, Batman's best theme. That gets you excited, gets you pumped up, and it works in the more quiet moments. And this, he doesn't just copy and paste. He gives little themes to, for example, Catwoman, where it's almost this, I don't want to say whimsical, that's not the right word, but this sort of, with Catwoman, almost playful, like a cat playing with its toy. He gives it certain distinctions. Same with Penguin. And he does another bang-up job, Danny Elfman. He was on his A game with this in the first movie. Catwoman, Selena Kyle, Michelle Pfeiffer. This is how you do it well. How you do it piss poorly is Wonder Woman 84. They try to do that with Cheetah. They did. Same type of thing. Girl, glasses, mousy, something happens. Then she gets more, what's supposed to be more of a backbone. But this is actually developed well. You show her home life. Honey, I'm home. Oh, I forgot, I'm not married. And just has these cats. And she's trying to do her best. And not every guy is a fucking asshole in the movie. Well, I guess Wonder Woman 84, you can't really say that because you had Chris Pine. But it seemed like it was better developed. Okay, this is a bit of her character. She's looking a bit too much that she wasn't supposed to. Christopher Walken as Max Shreck, which is a nod to Nosferatu. And Christopher Walken, I think, even did a good job. He's an actor that nowadays people kind of look at almost on a parody level. Like, I can't even do the Christopher Walken talk. But a lot of people try to mimic the way he talks, the way he converses. At this point, he was just a solid actor who done films like The Dead Zone, and he was in films called Brainstorm and what was it, Communion. A few years later, he'd be in Pulp. And he's a guy who is one of our other villains, but he's at times playful. Like he's ready to attack her. He's like, huh? Like he's kidding, huh? And then lets the audience guard down to then get the fuck you moment and pushes her out the window. And then they don't really explain why she's alive. I honestly think that's for the better. It wasn't some dumb fart breath from a CGI cat like Halle Berry's Catwoman. Which, I know the film got a lot of backlash. McDonald's had their Happy Meals. I think then they canceled it because parents were going, this is too dark. This is too violent. And the movie made money. I just think it didn't make as much money as Warner Brothers wanted. And you get the feeling Warner Brothers did not want Tim Burton back. I think Tim Burton would have done a third film. I think Michael Keaton would have done it to work with Tim Burton, because he likes working with Tim Burton. I think worked with him again on, what was it, Dumbo? So he loves Tim Burton, and I would like to have seen that. I know a lot of people like Batman Forever. I'm in the middle with Batman Forever. I'm always in the middle with that movie. Batman and Robin I do not like. I'm in the middle of Batman Forever. It's like some here, some here. I really would love to have seen what Tim Burton would have done. And who would have been the Riddler. I think it would have been cool if somehow you were able to get Robin Williams as the Riddler. Granted, he probably would have said no, because you guys tried to fuck me over, tried to entice me with Joker, and then you said nope. So he's like, screw you guys. But I don't know, maybe talking with Tim Burton, or I don't know. I'd be really curious. I know Marlon Wayans talked of him being Robin. I guess he was cast as Robin, and he even had a costume fitting. But they said, nah, it's a bit too much in this film. Too many characters. Which, wow. Yes. Because you already have Catwoman, and you have Penguin. If you try to force Robin in there, it'd be too many characters. I agree. So that was smart. That was smart thinking. So then he was going to be in the third film, and then they replaced him. I'm guessing... I wonder if they had to buy out Marlon Wayans' contract? Or did they give a reason as to why they didn't... If they cast him, I guess Joe Schumacher's like, no, I want my own Robin. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I know this film gets a lot of backlash, and like I said, I don't really understand it that much. I guess people are like, well, you didn't read Batman comics. Well, that's true. I didn't read as much as probably many people out there, but... Okay, Zack Snyder's Batman in Justice League, his cut. Is that really a great Batman? Hey, who wants to be on the team? Okay? I'm never going to fight Steppenwolf, the main fucking villain. I get my ass kicked by parademons. Oh, I did a couple stuff. Okay, at the end, are you going to fight Steppenwolf? No. Are you going to even try to help fight Steppenwolf? No. Here's some parademons, and then here's a gun. I'll be here. Good luck. You guys tell me when it's over. I'm more for this Batman. Sorry. This Batman does more. Actually goes and fights the villains. Actually does some shit. Sorry, that's my cup of tea. And I don't even hate... Like, Ben Affleck at Batman and Batman v Superman, I thought was... Acting-wise, was one of the only decent parts of Batman v Superman. And the action scene where he's fighting the thugs in the warehouse. Batman sucks in Justice League in both cuts. Honestly, the more I think about it, he has a little bit more to do with the Batmobile probably than Zack Snyder's, but to be fair. Wow, just the whole demeanor, the whole acting. I like Ben Affleck, but get back to this. I'm just saying the whole backlash is... Yeah, I know even Kevin Smith hates this film because he did a commentary on all the Batman films, and he was like, oh, Catwoman's origin is the most ridiculous origin I've ever seen. I'm going, you ever seen Catwoman with Halle Berry? A CGI cat looks like a fart coming out of his mouth and goes into Halle Berry's mouth. You want them to do it that way? Granted, it's his opinion. On the flip side, I'm going, Kevin Smith, you're the guy that cries at every fucking trailer for any time a Star Wars or a Marvel or a DC movie comes out, you look at the trailer and you cry. I understand people crying once or twice, but 18 times? I'm surprised he probably cried when he saw the Suicide Squad trailer that came out recently. He cries at every trailer. 1 or 2 trailers is fine. I have no problem with someone crying over a trailer, but every fucking trailer? I saw someone dressed as Batman walking down the street. This is what it looked like. Kevin Smith. I'm sorry, old Mine and Grady, director of Yoga Hosers. I know I'm being mean. And I like Kevin Smith's early work, but just... I'm not much into the Kevin Smith of today. But hey, if you don't like Batman Returns, in all fairness, to each their own. Like I said, I like Tim Burton, the way he made Gotham look in this movie, same as '89 film. I like taking place at Christmas, so the snow gives it a different look, so it doesn't feel samey with the first film. Like I said, Penguin's plan to kill all the babies of Gotham, pretty fucked up plan. Pretty, it raises the stakes. It definitely raises the stakes for your finale. I said Batman with the Batmobile, shooting projectiles, knocking people off, motorcycles. This is guys trying to start the fire. Batman turns the Batmobile, starts that motherfucker on fire. Like, here's a taste of your own medicine, you son of a bitch. Later on, like, fighting Bull Hurley, here's the bomb. Thank you, fuck you, bye. The Batarang, he throws it. I like that Tim Burton does his POV that knocks each person out. I thought that was a cool visual touch to it. Catwoman, I love the costume. It's sleek, it's sexy, but it's dangerous. Just like Catwoman herself. And the way Michelle Pfeiffer plays it, I'm Catwoman, hear me roar. Like, she's really getting into it, but I never found it goofy or silly or cartoony. It's just, this world, this is how Catwoman is, and again, just sleek and black and sexy. You see why Batman's like, let me get down with Poontang. And the way they have this, again, fighting back and forth. Oh my god, you hit me, I'm a woman. I'm sorry. Sucker. And Catwoman at one point straddles him and lifts him from here to here. Like central seductive play. And then also Bruce Wayne and Selina Kyle conversing and having a growing relationship in their other personas. And is rising while they find out who they are and ultimately they do. And again, it's a nice reaction with the two of them. Even the whole thing with the Penguin where he wants to be mayor, different, not really what I would expect, but, you know, there's a guy who does use, with Christopher Walken's help, manipulating the media, manipulating events, which you could probably say is something you see in today's age. Oh, we feel sorry for him, and they did this thing where a baby was in danger and he saved the baby. Oh, he's such a great guy. And then the way he frames Batman to make him the villain. There's even a point where he hacks into the Batmobile and is going apeshit crazy. And I like the addition of the Batmobile being able to break itself up so it could go from this to a little more psycho. It was well done on a special effects note, and I'm like, oh, that's a pretty neat idea. That's an idea that I understand. That makes sense. Because sometimes with Batman's gadgets, it gets to the point of, like in Batman and Robin, when they just happen to have ice skates on their boots. Because, you know, how often are you going to be somewhere where you need ice skates? But it just so happens at this particular point, they got the boots on. They just happen to have ice skates. I'm like, okay. I will say it's a bit weird when you watch it again that Penguin has a penguin army with rockets on it. I wouldn't say it never bothered me, but it's one of those that gives you pause of, all these penguins have rockets on them. I don't know, it's definitely weird. It's definitely weird. But you do get the action scene in the first film. It was with the bat plane. Here you get the bat boat and the sewers dodging all these missiles, which I thought was a fun sequence. It was a fun sequence. It was edited well enough. I understood what was going on. And it's one of those things that, even when you get to the finale, where it's pretty fucking dark. I mean, the way, spoiler alert, Penguin dies, and not only does he die, but this stuff just keeps gushing out of his mouth. The slime, blood, whatever, just over and over again. And then even Michelle Pfeiffer. And that's another factor I like, is they showcase her lives dwindling down more and more. And Christopher Walken just keeps shooting her over and over again. 6, 7. All good kitties go to heaven. It's like, damn, you have a lady literally just getting shot again and again and again. And, you know, people want to say, well, only nowadays films are dark. This movie is darker than... Fuck, I would say it's darker... It's darker than a lot of movies today, I say that. But it's darker, but it still has that fantasy element to it. And like I said, I think all the elements work rather well together. Even to the point at the end, they do showcase Catwoman, and she was supposed to have her spin-off, which never happened. Then you get that shitty Halle Berry movie. But yeah, the look and art direction of Gotham, the score by Danny Elfman, you know, the bat, the cat, the penguin, those three, all well cast. I'm sorry, Kevin Smith is not the most ridiculous origin ever. Really? Seriously? You think and I liked Shazam for what it was, but you don't think that's a ridiculous fucking origin? Yell this word, Shazam! Right, that's more of a comedy. But I'm thinking, Captain Marvel is all in all more ridiculous than anything in this fucking film. But hey, what do I know? It's one of those things where even though the film did well box office wise, seemed like it did decent critical wise when it came out. Now it's easy to hate on it just because. But yeah, in all due respect, if you dislike the film, to each their own. Like I said, I think it's an underrated flick. I think it's a movie that stood on its own, tried to be its own thing, its own being, which I appreciate in this world where there's a lot of movies that feel the same thing done over and over again. It didn't try to be the same as the first movie. It didn't have the same villains as the first movie. Again, even the look, the Christmas time, the snow, like I said, the only few issues I have is I wish they established a bit more Bruce Wayne as a character. And in what they did in Batman Forever, showing a little bit of Bruce Wayne's past, they could have done that in Batman Returns. I think that would have been really neat. I think that would have helped even more on that front. But like I said, I like the romance between the two that will sadly never work out. I thought that was established fairly well. And like I said, for a comic book movie, it was entertaining. And like I said, the penguin stuff, I would definitely say if you're asking me, works better. I think Joker, dealing with Joker's henchmen, the whole parade stuff, having to get the balloons up, that worked better than... Again, the penguins, I don't hate it. It is weird. It just comes off as weird. But I don't even know if that's really a bad thing, because it's definitely noteworthy. It's definitely something that's not forgettable. it's definitely unique and creative and, dare I say, original, because I haven't seen another movie do that. Whether good or bad thing. So, yeah. Batman Returns. Always enjoyed it. With that said, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.